Listen carefully, because after this, you will never interpret attraction the same way again. There's a quiet behavior younger women show, subtle, almost invisible, that most older men miss completely. It isn't loud flirting, it isn't dramatic attention seeking, and it certainly isn't chasing. It's a psychological signal so powerful, once you learn to recognize it, you'll realize how many chances slipped past you simply because you didn't know the language she was speaking. I'm going to reveal the one behavior younger women use when they're waiting for an older man to make a move. Not when they're bored, not when they're being merely polite, but when they're genuinely drawn to you. Quietly hopeful you will step forward before they silently decide to leave. If you think you already know what attraction looks like, think again. Younger women often operate on a different frequency, and if you can't tune into it, you will misread everything. While you second guess yourself, telling yourself she's just being friendly, that she's too young, that you're out of her league. She's watching. She's waiting to see if you're the kind of man she sensed you might be, or just another older man who doesn't recognize his own worth. What I'm about to share will either wake you up or explain why every near connection vanished without a trace. So stay with me. Don't click away. Because when you see this clearly, your whole perception of attraction will shift. When a younger woman is genuinely interested in an older man, she rarely spells it out the way you expect. She won't storm over and announce her feelings. She won't throw obvious signals. She won't chase him like a peer might. Instead, something far more subtle takes place. Something rooted in biology, psychology, and a feminine instinct to move toward emotional safety. She becomes present, not loud, not flirtatious, present. This presence is deliberate. It appears only when she senses something rarer in a man: steadiness, maturity, emotional control, and wants to understand him more closely. You'll see it in the way she gives you her attention. Whereas most people today are half distracted, phones out, minds elsewhere, she will slow down. She stops scrolling. She orients her senses to you. That shift doesn't happen for everyone. It happens for those who make her nervous system relax. This matters because presence is the highest currency for many younger women. To give attention is to invest emotional energy, and energy is guarded fiercely. When she chooses to invest it in you, it's monumental. It means she's not casually observing, she's studying. She watches how you pause, how you breathe, how you speak, the subtle cadence of your voice. She's checking whether you make her feel calm or whether you create anxiety. Does this man anchor me, or does he stir confusion? If you speak slowly, she softens. If you remain composed, she mirrors that calm. If you hold steady eye contact, she does not shy away. These aren't accidents. They're feminine responses to masculine stability. Many older men believe age alone creates attraction. It does not. Age without presence is only a number. The real pull is grounded energy, clarity, emotional steadiness, a man who carries himself like someone who knows where he's going. The tragedy is how often men misread these shifts. They call her warmth friendliness. They tell themselves she only sees them as a mentor or a safe conversational partner. They mistake softness for politeness and let the doorway she's opened slip shut. They miss the small ways she begins to be in his orbit, initiating tiny interactions, remembering details, becoming selectively more available. She lights up when he speaks from authority, not arrogance. She gives attention to see whether his consistency matches his charisma. Here's the deeper truth. She's not simply observing him. She's noting how she feels around him. A man who calms her nervous system becomes instantly more attractive. A man who speaks with certainty becomes magnetic. A man who listens before reacting builds trust. A man who stands in his identity without needing to impress awakens curiosity. When she senses this, she becomes present because she's drawn to the possibility of depth and safety. Presence, in feminine terms, is a form of pursuit. It's subtle, intentional, elegant. It says, I am open to you, without sacrificing her dignity. If you don't notice, you'll continue missing connections with women who were quietly waiting for you to respond. Now pay attention to a second layer, mirroring. When a younger woman is genuinely interested, she begins to mirror you. She watches how you sit, how you handle stress, how you behave when nobody's watching. She doesn't do this to manipulate. She does this instinctively, to see whether your composure is performance or a rhythm. Anyone can appear confident for a moment. True masculine stability is consistent. She tests that by matching your pace. If you speak measuredly, she softens her tone. If you lean in, she leans in. If you maintain calm under pressure, she checks whether this calm holds in more intimate moments. Mirroring is her way of asking, is this man steady, or will he crack when things get real? You can't fake this. The body betrays insecurity long before the mouth does. If you're appearing unsure, she will tighten up. If you're grounded, she relaxes. Mirroring is her method for discovering whether the older man in front of her is simply older or emotionally reliable. This has huge implications. Women her age have experienced inconsistency, emotional neediness, sudden mood swings. They've met men who were restless, defensive, or desperate. She's learned to spot instability, so when she meets a man who might be different, she sinks to his rhythm to test it. If his rhythm is dependable, she will invest more. If it falters, she withdraws. The mistake most men make is interpreting her mirroring as compliance. It is not. It is evaluation. She is aligning to see if she can trust you, and if you hold that space, she will step in further. If you hesitate, she will quietly step away. There's another key truth to understand. When she becomes attentive, she's creating space for you. She's not chasing, she's making room. That space is generous but limited. It's an invitation for you to lead with clarity, not force. If you move with intention, not impulsively but decisively, she relaxes into the possibility. If you overthink, stall, or ask for permission at every turn, you teach her you won't lead. And a woman seeking stability will not wait indefinitely. Her patience isn't infinite, it's a test. If you fail to act, she'll quietly move on, not out of spite, but because the emotional economy demands safety and progress. This is vital. She's not asking you to be perfect. She's asking you to be sure. When you hesitate, she doesn't think you're thoughtful. She thinks you're fearful. Hesitation communicates doubt about your own value. And if you don't value yourself, she won't. That's how swiftly attraction can die. Not from a lack of chemistry, but from a lack of decisiveness. So how do you respond when you notice she's present, mirroring, investing attention? First, recognize the moment. Presence is the signal. Awareness is the key. When she slows, when she leans in, when her eyes stay, understand she's offering more than conversation. She's offering a window. Take it. Second, lead with clarity. Acting decisively does not mean rushing. It means choosing direction without needing permission at every turn. Make a grounded choice. Speak confidently about what you want. Show intention through action. Third, maintain emotional steadiness. If you feel nervous, breathe. Anchor yourself. She mirrored your calm once, mirror it back. Don't let small anxieties shatter the rhythm. Fourth, honor her investment. Don't play games. Don't withdraw to manufacture desire. She risked emotional energy to show interest. Respect that. If you're genuinely interested, move with integrity. Fifth, understand the cost of indecision. Waiting too long often triggers her internal shift from hope to protection. When that happens, no amount of later chasing rebuilds what was lost. Act before absence becomes assumption. Let's be blunt. Younger women are not drawn to age. They're drawn to what age can signify. Confidence, clarity, leadership, emotional intelligence. Age is useless without those qualities. Many older men assume their years alone are attractive. The reality is harsher but more hopeful. These qualities are trainable. You can cultivate steadiness. You can choose to move with intention. You can learn to be present. When a woman gives you her attention, she's giving you a rare commodity. She's saying, I am willing to see you. Don't waste it. Don't mistake her softness for mere politeness. Recognize it for what it is, a respectful feminine invitation. Step into the role she's silently offering, or step aside and let her find the clarity she deserves. Finally, remember this. The men who succeed in these dynamics are not the flashiest nor the loudest. They are the ones who choose with quiet courage. They're calm when others panic. They move when others vacillate. They honor presence, they practice restraint, and they lead without dominating. Those are the men a younger woman will trust, follow, and ultimately choose. If you've stayed with me, ask yourself honestly, how often have you missed moments because you didn't recognize the language of presence? How many doors have closed because you hesitated at exactly the wrong time? Let this be the moment you begin to change that pattern. When she becomes present, mirror her presence with grounded clarity. Lead with intention. Value your attention. Hold your steadiness. That is the real magnetic work, and it is available to any man willing to practice it. Because at the end of the day, attraction is not about short bursts of performance. It's about long, quiet integrity. It's about being the kind of man whose presence says everything words never could. Now go, be present, be decisive, be the man she can trust.